YouTube's war on ad blockers, electric vehicles in the United States, and Microsoft is bringing AI to Xbox.
It's news to me. Welcome to It's News to Me, where the it is IT and the me is whoever it needs to be. I'm Noah Parker.
I'm Michael Trotter-Lawson.
And back from a long hiatus is me, Tyler Sean Gasnick.
Welcome back, Tyler. Good to have you.
You're welcome.
We had to go through some hoops while you were gone. We did an episode with just the two of us that was so thrilling.
But, I mean, we did an episode all together after that one.
Oh, yeah, you were here for that one.
Yeah.
The one where we talked about Star Wars
Yeah,
for
that debacle of an episode.
2 hours.
Yeah.
If you consider that an episode.
Yeah, it was an episode.
It wasn't that
bad.
long. I listened to all that episode.
Yeah, it's really funny that Michael doesn't generally listen to the episodes because he's here for them and stuff.
He took notes on the arguments.
So I edit these, and there were a couple F-bombs in that episode, and I censored them out. But at some point before I exported it, I shifted the whole audio track that had the censors on it. So they were like a full second and a half behind the words. So it was like F-bomb. And Michael called me. He's like, "Hey, you censored these really bad." I was like, "What do you mean?" And so I went and checked, and they were just completely missing the point of the censor.
Yeah.
Hopefully they were censoring some of Michael's bad opinions about the Solo movie. Just kidding.
Yeah. No, oddly fortuitous since, I listened to that one right after it came out on the way home.
Yeah.
So,
Real convenient.
All right. So you all know the deal. AI has been kind of dominating the technology news cycle. We've got a story about AI on the docket today.
Really?
So
what a surprise.
So today's question is, if you wanted ChatGPT to respond to a question as though you were responding to that question, how would you, basically, what would you prompt ChatGPT to make it act like yourself?
I would ask it a question and then say, "Give me the widest answer you possibly can," and then that would probably be what I say, or the widest answer from the early 90s.
Yeah, but no racism, right?
But no racism.
Yeah,
that's my my shtick, I don't know many people that still say dog as much as I do, so.
Yeah, we're past that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Not me.
Now it's slime. You call your homie slime for some reason.
Slime?
Yeah, you guys haven't heard of that?
Are you okay? Sure.
Sounds like an insult.
No, it's not. It's like the.
Is that cool?
It's a form of flattery. Yeah, it's good. What's up, slime?
I thought
and they do this.
People said
you ever watch football games? Someone gets a first down and they go.
No, I haven't seen that.
Be on the lookout.
Okay.
Because it used to be but now this is something to do with slime.
For those listening to this audio only podcast.
Hey, it's fine. This is good content.
How else would they be consuming it?
There's a secret camera.
That's a joke.
Tyler's
doing all these arm motions.
Yeah, but do you really need to say that they're listening to this audio only podcast? You say, for those of you out there, they know who they are.
The audience.
It's funny to call out the audio-only nature of this podcast when he's over here doing hand signals.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And I'm a Michigan fan, so.
I'm just kidding. I get it. I get the joke. I was just giving you a hard time.
For those at home listening to this audio podcast, Tyler was contrasting a exaggerated wiping of the nose to the classic, eating cereal.
Yeah.
It's like the Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, the feed me more thing.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Let me eat or whatever. No, I don't know, because I saw. So the thing is, I saw some football players doing this. I was like, "What are they doing?" Because like it's different football players too, not from one team. It was like college. I watched a high school game and someone did this. In the NFL, people do it, and I was like, "This has to be some part of some." I'm very white, so some culture that I'm not a part of. So I did find out. Apparently, it has to do with the rapper Young Thug, who I'm not super familiar with, but he refers to his like fan base as slime. So people call that each other slime now. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what it's about.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. The wide receivers from Ohio State do it. So you'll see them all. And the ones in the pros now, too. All of them will do that.
Interesting. Man.
So, hypothetical. What was the hypothetical?
How would you get ChatGPT to answer a question as you?
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret here that most people don't know.
You are ChatGPT.
I use ChatGPT to respond to everything here. I actually don't do any work at all. So I would basically, it would be sort of, it would just be chalk. I would just type in the question. However it responds is how I would respond, because I don't respond to anything.
Interesting. So you are ChatGPT.
Yeah,
right.
That was a joke. Bad one.
But like, responding as close to like your speaking voice.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like, can you respond to the following, and then I would put it in parentheses, with a friendly tone, but also a serious undertone, but a professional demeanor. That would be how I would. And then ChatGPT would be like,
it just explode.
No, it would just go,
throw it down. Oh, it'd give you the answer.
It spit it out immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
What about you,
Michael?
Well, I think I'd probably have to. I feel like there's a lot of nuances to my personality and whatnot. A lot of people don't necessarily know about. I would say respond like a mid-20s white guy that has so much anxiety boiling just underneath the surface, but hides it kind of okay.
Yeah, the pressure
with
cooker,
a lot of pauses.
The pressure cooker's leaking, but it hasn't exploded yet.
Yeah.
Respond as though you were a leaky pressure cooker.
That hasn't exploded yet, but one day might.
Filled with pasta day anxiety. Man. Yeah.
Pasta nervioli.
Yeah, there you go. Nervioli.
Nervioli. It's just like wiggly and like.
That's a spicy meatball.
It just shakes.
Oh man.
But is it too spicy? I don't know. Might not be spicy enough.
That's a reference. Okay.
No, it's just the anxiety.
Oh, okay. That's just your inner monologue as you're cooking. You're like, I can't believe that this is 1 spice gram over spice.
1 spicy gram.
That's the unit of measurement for spice.
Well, the Italians use the metric system, right?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a real meatball, if it's in grams. We were joking about the cookbook, and I guess Jared is the only one that had used grams.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's how you know it's authentic, because it's not American. This is real.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess sort of vaguely, we're still sort of adjacent to the topic of AI. Let's talk about Microsoft's deal with in-world AI to bring basically an AI toolkit to Xbox developers. And I think, for me personally, as not only a long-time video game player, but also specifically a long-time Xbox player, this is like my utopian side of AI. There's a lot to be like afraid of as far as like AI goes, but like once I saw how like human ChatGPT could make responses sound and whatnot, I was like immediately excited for like having that kind of flesh out video games,
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it'd be super cool if they can Well, I mean, I guess they've figured out how to do it effectively.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen this put into action yet,
Yeah.
so that's always a factor.
But I mean, you know, how many times have you played a video game and you're like, man, these dialogue options suck?
Well,
Yeah.
I know of a mod, and obviously you have to have an account with GPT, and you have to pay for it or whatever. But there is a mod already that uses the API, and it's a little delayed, and you obviously have to have an internet connection.
Yeah.
But the NPCs in the game have a sort of profile that they've used, that they've built, and you can like type out stuff to them in game already, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's voiced, so basically
Nice.
GPT generates the response, and then I guess they use some other
Text to speech.
Yeah.
and then it basically reads it, which is pretty cool. In practice, you know, it's kind of laggy, but it's a mod. It's a free mod. So actually having like a developer with a toolkit with sort of purpose built, I feel like that would the application would be really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really exciting, and especially I'm always I shouldn't say always. I'm a bit fuzzy on Microsoft's relationship.
Freudian slip, maybe.
Microsoft's relationship to OpenAI. Do they own OpenAI?
They don't own it. They're just like the primary investor.
They're in cahoots.
I guess I actually don't know. They don't technically own it, but they're like one of the largest investors. So.
Okay.
I'll do some research on that while we talk.
I don't know. I just, and there's still obviously dystopian kind of edges to this. Like there's the whole, is this going to cause writers to lose their jobs? Is this going to cause voice actors to lose their jobs? There's a kind of thing where.
I mean, I feel like it really has the potential to like completely reshape the video game landscape,
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there's other applications to this as well, but, for me, what I care about is video games.
Well,
Right.
I mean, like, even if you take the video game part of it out, but like world building or like creating worlds, which I mean, at certain points, obviously the metaverse sort of failed, but like, I could see a future where it's not necessarily a video game, but a virtual world that you could build with something like this.
Or like you go and play a game of Dungeons and Dragons, and you can actually have like NPCs play along with your characters that you don't have to control.
Man,
like real bots.
That'd be wild.
That'd be really cool.
I did confirm though, so it was a $10 billion investment from Microsoft that allows Microsoft to receive 75% of profits until it secures its investment return, and then it's a 49% stake in the company. So they don't have controlling interest, but it's basically just a large investment.
Man.
So it's a separate company, but
big chunk,
significant.
though.
Yeah.
But when you have an investor that large, obviously Microsoft is going to, their opinions and all that are going to be swayed. So
yeah,
not legally controlling, but it's kind of controlling.
Effectively,
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I'm excited to see where this goes, what developers are going to make of it.
Yeah, like the NPC thing specifically, but like there was even more mentioned about, like generating worlds, and, there already procedural generation has existed in video games for a long time, which is different. But like you could actually have some kind of intelligence craft something procedurally. Because the problem with procedural is a lot of times it feels empty and dead. So if you could have a tool that could like build a medieval fantasy town with like 6 different points of interest that you could enter or something quickly, you could expedite the game design process.
Oh yeah, and I mean, heck, we've all played like a fair amount of like Starfield, and we've all gotten a lot of enjoyment out of the game to varying degrees. But part of its problem is the fact that large swaths of the game are, like you said, procedurally generated, and they feel pretty dead. Like you got basically nameless NPCs with like canned voice lines, and the same kind of stock outpost over and over again with like the same like four enemy factions.
It's super immersion breaking when you're like on a planet you've never explored before, and then you're like, oh cool, a facility I can explore, and you go down to the facility, and then your deja vu kicks in your brain. We're like, wait, I've been here before. It's like, oh, this is the same facility from like 3 planets ago. What the heck is this?
With like all the same secret doors and hidden chests,
textures, everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh well, this game is not as fun as I thought it was.
Yeah, you play it for more than a few hours, and
you're bound to see something.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but that's the thing. If you can have, still have all the same handcrafted quests and whatnot, and like I think a lot of those in Starfield are, quite good.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have a bunch of like AI generated stuff, and we know that artificial intelligence is reaching the point where it can take the information from like those like handcrafted quests and basically create new ones just from that.
Yeah.
And they could take, they could pull all the voice actors from the game and create entire new voice lines and quest options.
The option to be able to like record someone's voice, they voice, something that was written, but then you have radiant quests that are randomly generated or whatever, but then they're still voiced was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to get the voice actor to come in and voice a million different lines. You would actually have, on the fly radiant quests that are AI based. They're pretty cool.
I just hope that again, just kind of worrying about the negative implications. Again, innate pessimistic nature in me here. I hope that we do figure out a good way to fairly compensate like voice actors for that. If AI is gonna take on like a lot of that kind of voice work, I know that there's a way to fairly pay voice actors for essentially only doing like less work, but their voice would be used more.
Yeah, it would be like a licensing fee, basically. You're paying them for the right to use their voice, like a license to use their voice. I guess would be the only way. But you'd have to like figure out a fair, because obviously like a higher profile voice actor would be, or someone that's recognizable, their voice would be worth a lot more than just me.
Yeah.
That no one's going to care about. But I'll take $20 to record like 100 lines for them to get my voice and they can use them. I'm like, okay.
Count me in.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
But I don't know. I think, we have a lot of very negative, again, borderline dystopian topics surrounding AI. So I think this one where I feel like it's being used in a fairly benign but positive way is pretty nice. Pretty
at least a glimmer of hope, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not as big a fan of video games as I used to be. Just, got married and have a job and just don't have as much time, but I still enjoy playing them. The biggest problem for me, though, with games is there aren't many that come out that I get excited about, and the ones that I do, they often take 5 to 6 to 7 years to develop.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a bummer, especially when you're 30 and you're like, oh my god, this is the next Skyrim or the next Elder Scrolls game. I'm going to be like close to 40 by the time it comes out. Yeah. Will I even care? But if you could expedite that process, that's what about this that really I'm excited about. Is if you could like cut the development time in half by using these tools, and we could pump more games out.
Yeah.
The optimist says this will be amazing and we'll have these really awesome games, but the pessimist says that we can just phone it in even harder now, and there's more microtransactions on every single game that we release. But
yeah. I think we just gotta hope that there's gonna be enough, good companies that use it in the right way.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think it goes to show like a lot of the companies that do treat their employees well and put more time into the game and things like that. Oftentimes, those games do come out looking better, being more popular,
and they're usually smaller studios.
Successful. Yeah, like you think of like a CD Projekt Red, who I know Cyberpunk 2077 was a bit of
unoptimized.
Yeah, I mean it certainly had issues, but like still a fun game, and to their credit, they never kind of gave up on it.
And they fixed all the problems that people had with it, for the most part.
I just put out DLC not that long ago. I need to go. I want to go pick that up at some point, but off topic. But like you look back at The Witcher 3, and it's widely regarded as one of the best games ever, and it's by a very small Polish studio? They're Polish, right?
I don't know.
They're ish for sure. Some kind. Swedish, Polish, I don't know.
Are they Amish?
They could be.
They're not
Are they
Amish.
Dutch?
They were Amish, they wouldn't be using...
No, Amish are allowed to use AI. I think. I have a source.
I have a source from...
It's an Amish. I have an Amish AI that I ask questions about the Amish.
Yeah, see, that's smart.
They are Polish.
Polish.
Confirmed.
But even, what's the studio that did Baldur's Gate?
Larian.
Yeah, pretty small studio. I feel like some of these tools, like these smaller studios we're talking about that care more, they'll be able to make larger scale games that maybe they wouldn't have had the staff or resources for previously. So the pessimist in me says that like EA is going to use this for some crummy purpose, but maybe the smaller studios can use this to their advantage and even the playing field somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be cool.
And I mean, in game, that kind of thing might force EA to do better.
Competition always does. That's why the sports games suck. Like all of them, every single one, they all suck.
Yeah, because EA does them all.
Well, 2K
except for 2K.
2K sucks now too because there's no live. They all both sides of the coin. Like there's no competition and they both kind of suck. Yeah. You don't have to. Just like if there was no competition for Burk IT, we would just be like, no, I'm just kidding. we wouldn't do that at all.
All right, so let's move now to electric vehicles, which this is honestly kind of a different topic than what we normally talk about because it's not really like news. Like there wasn't like a breaking news story about this. This was more just like an interesting study and observation. But frankly, when we talked about it, it was a bit of a slow news day. But we thought it was interesting, so it was worth talking about.
Electric cars are the future, quote unquote. But
yeah, well, I find it very interesting as someone who has been having some car troubles, and theoretically, I think like the U.S. government would want me to be in the market for buying an electric car, but it's just like beyond infeasible for me, and I'm like relatively. I'm living relatively comfortably in like, the middle class, and I'm doing fine. But like any electric car is just like pie in the sky type expensive for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like any car right now.
That's true.
Well,
that's part of the problem.
But like especially electric cars, like they're just. This story was basically talking about how the policies that the Biden administration have kind of enacted as part of the his kind of wide sweeping climate law that went into effect at some point. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But created all these tax breaks for largely manufacturers, and they have been pumping out electric cars. I mean, you see the commercials for all of the new electric cars that every single manufacturer in the United States and beyond the United States is producing now.
Yeah.
But they're still just too expensive. And it's also, I feel like this kind of doesn't get talked about as much in this conversation, but like the other factor to electric cars is that charging is way slower than pumping gas.
It's inconvenient. Owning an electric car is inconvenient.
Yeah. And I mean, it wouldn't be so bad, but you have to own a house or, rent a house. You have to be in a position where you can plug up your car when you go to bed.
And not even that, you got to have 220. So if you don't have 220, you got to pay someone to install that. You got the slow chargers that are 110 but those, I don't even think those would charge your car overnight if you just plugged it into like an outlet.
I'm just saying, I would have to call into work like every other day and be like, sorry guys, my car's dead. Because I can barely charge my phone half the time. And it plugs up right next to my bed.
Well, like that's with like me living in my one bedroom apartment Of course, I don't have a garage, so I can't. Even if my apartment had that kind of power output, which of course it doesn't. Am I going to run an extension cord from inside my apartment down to the parking lot? It's just, and that's kind of the other factor here is that no one, obviously not no one, but like more and more young people in the United States can't afford to buy a house.
Yeah.
And without your own property, you can't really feasibly get an electric car.
You basically rely on the charging network that exists in your city. So like I have a buddy, or I guess he's still my buddy, but he doesn't live here anymore. He used to live here, and he had solar panels on his house, and he didn't want to pay for an inverter, so in case the power was off.
Yeah.
All that did was supply energy back to the electrical grid, and he got a discount on his bill.
Okay.
So in order to run from that, he bought an electric car that he would then plug into his house, essentially. It was a Nissan Leaf, which I think was the cheapest electric car he could buy. The batteries from his car, in the event of an outage, would run his house.
Wow.
And the solar panels charged the battery.
That's kind of cool.
So he had that set up, and then when he would leave, he would drive that car as his primary vehicle. When he got home, plug it back in, there's the battery. The problem is, and I rode with him a bunch of different places, and things are different now than they were then, but that Nissan Leaf had a 140-mile range.
Yeah.
And that was like best case scenario if everything goes according to plan.
Yeah.
It ended up being effectively like a 70-mile range. So we were out one time, I think he lived in Bristol, we were in Johnson City, and we were on our way back, and it just kept going down and down and down to the point where it was 3 miles left.
Oh, dear.
And this was 8 years ago, so it's scarce now, but 8 years ago it was even more scarce. The only place that we could find with a quick Google search to charge this thing was the Metaview. They had one EV charger, and we had to hope that no one was using it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we literally coasted down, it was 1 mile to this Metaview, and then we had to plug his car up. And then once we plugged it up, it wasn't the right charger. He had to pull out an adapter to adapt.
Jeez.
And because of that, it was stepping down in power. So we looked to see the charging time. It was going to be 4.5 hours.
Oh my
so I was
gosh.
like, I'm just going to call my wife.
Yeah.
She's going to come get me. And you can come too, and maybe we can come back and get your car. And he was like, yeah, that's not great. So that was the case 8 years ago. I feel like it's not as bad now. Obviously, the range has increased on a lot of these. But that's problems you find yourself, running into where, gas is bad. I guess we can say that. But it's convenient. If there was some system in place to where, you go to get a propane tank for your grill, you go put your empty propane tank, you get a new one. If you could somehow, a power source, you could remove it.
We just need these copper coils under the road so we can wirelessly charge as we go.
That would be cool. But if there was some quick change way to swap out a battery, which there's a bunch of other logistic hoops, but something like that that could make this more convenient. Because right now the convenience factor and then the cost of owning a car. Now, you do save money in the long run on fuel. If you look up, the nerds will tell you, and you can save $17,000 over the life of the vehicle if you get a Tesla. But you're doing that at the expense of the convenience and also the insurance and all of that. Some of those are, they cost more to own.
Yeah, because there's a gas station every mile or so.
So right. They haven't really reached the point where, most of the low-end ones are still $40,000 and up. I wouldn't consider that something affordable for me. I wouldn't want to go buy a $40,000 car. No, and that's for the lowest end, base model with no bells and whistles.
Yeah. And if I'm going to buy a new fancy electric car, I want the bells and whistles.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
I also personally don't love electric cars just because I don't like to pay people to fix my things.
Yes.
And so if my car messes up, I can usually fix things on it. But with an electric car, I don't know how to do anything.
Which is
most
wild.
of them you can't really do anything.
You can't, on purpose. Which is wild, though, because, as far as moving parts and things that actually, could go wrong, they're way more simple than an internal combustion engine.
Yeah.
It's literally 4 motors, one or 2, depending on if it's all-wheel drive or it's just 1 motor per wheel.
Yeah.
So, worst case scenario, you would have a hot swap motor or something if something happened. I mean, it shouldn't be as big of a deal. The batteries are the main thing that once those go, it's not easy for someone to recondition. You can do that on your own, but you have to have a shop.
I mean, a lot of the, if there's ever computer issues, a lot of that stuff can be fixed with updates and stuff like that. So. Yeah,
the right to repair thing for the electric cars, especially the Teslas, because I think you void your warranty if you even attempt to do anything.
Yeah.
And
that's wild.
You're paying a lot of money for this car. You don't want your warranty to be void.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think eventually we're going to get to a better spot. Because, I mean, once the story focused a lot on the fact that Joe Manchin, as part of his kind of control on this climate bill, made it so the tax breaks for electric cars were dependent on them being made in the United States.
Yeah, which is the case for a lot of...
Well, yeah, I mean, the auto industry has largely vacated the United States in the last 60 years, but I don't know. And, I don't have a problem with that. I think, jobs, industry, I'm a red-blooded American at the end of the day. Those are positive sounding things to me. But until those industries are a bit more established in the United States, the consumer's not really going to see much of a return on these things.
Yeah.
Because, there's like an $80,000 tax break, not $80,000, $8,000 tax break on American manufactured electric vehicles.
Yeah, which still brings it down to like 40,000 from 48, like the Mustang Mach-E.
Right,
that's still the problem.
Right, but I mean, you got to think that by the time we get like an entire American manufacturing setup, the prices will come down a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, is that actually gonna happen?
Well, but also, because of all the money that there is to be made here, the foreign companies like Hyundai, Nissan, Honda, they're also setting up American industries to get in on those tax breaks. So, all of these companies are going to be, competing, and eventually I think we'll get to a point where electric cars are a bit more reasonable.
I think we will, but I think the problem has been, like, the basically first to market for the electric cars in the United States was Tesla, right? Their price point was set what it was for a variety of different reasons, but one of the side effects of that was it became a luxury vehicle.
Yeah.
And it sort of the EV market became a luxury market.
Right.
Which is what we're talking about. You've got to have all these different variables in place before you can even really feasibly begin to afford one in the first place. But on top of that, the base model price for most of these are 60, 70, 80, 90,000, 100,000 plus for certain Tesla models. So the other manufacturers, the other companies that were entering the market, they want to, price close to Tesla because that's the market.
Yeah.
There have been some, like I mentioned, the Nissan Leaf. My buddy bought that. I think that was $30,000, and there were some different tax breaks, some Obama level tax breaks that he got from that. So I think he ended up paying less for that Leaf than I paid for my CRV.
Yeah.
But again, with all the different limitations, it was base model, very small battery.
I personally love the concept of a hybrid vehicle.
Yeah.
Because I just think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Especially in the way that all the infrastructure is set up now with
Well, part of the problem is
everything.
that, we do, for our one German listener.
There's always one download from Germany.
Wild.
Yeah, it's always the same place too.
It could very well be a VPN. We've theorized that.
But we like to imagine it's some one German guy who's just really into this podcast.
He's like, yeah.
It's
Burk
noise
IT.
to me.
I like a Burk IT.
Well, don't make fun of him.
No, I will.
No, this is an honorable.
We'll know if it's
shout-out.
real if he tunes out after this.
Yeah.
If we stop seeing.
If we stop seeing that
We
one
have to
German
insult him
listen,
enough. Anyway.
if you are real,
Hey, we appreciate you, all of our listeners, but especially the German.
We can have a call-in conversation with our German fan.
That might be, like a special.
Yeah.
For anyone who's not aware, though, we live in northeast Tennessee, and there's not much infrastructure around here in general, and especially not for electric cars.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's chargers up, up the Pinnacle.
There's some chargers up the Pinnacle.
And there's
Sam's
some,
Club.
at ETSU.
Yeah, but compared to a Los Angeles, a New York,
They've got superchargers at every gas station.
Chicago. I mean, all
Convenience stores.
All of those places have much more established EV support. Basically. I think eventually we might. I think it's just going to take a lot of time, and I think it will eventually get a bit more feasible as time goes on.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I think it will too. It's just, right now, I mean, the whole concept of it is just like I get why people aren't buying them as much as
It's not
they
that
would
practical.
like to be bought.
It's just not that practical. That's kind of the bottom line.
Not to mention the other part that no one really talks about. It doesn't really affect me or you directly, but it could eventually, is the infrastructure in general on the back end. Like if everyone tomorrow went out and bought an EV and then we added that to the grid as far as the load, how would that affect, one, the grid, and then two, energy prices? So demand's going to go up. Energy prices are going to go up. You're saving money. Right now it's a lot cheaper if you have an EV, obviously, to fuel it than it would be for gasoline. But at a certain point, if everybody has one and the grids are maxed out and we haven't really done anything to prepare those grids, then we're going to be back in the same spot we're in as far as the financial commitment.
Yeah.
It's going to be better for the environment in some ways, but it depends on how the grid is powered. It may or may not be. It could be a wash.
Well, that's one thing that's
know, it's
always
tricky.
kind of been weird to me about electric cars is like a lot of the sell on them is that it's better for the environment.
Yeah.
But also like a lot of the processes that go into making them and powering all the things that power them, it kind of negates the whole point.
Which I'm like super pro nuclear power, but like, I mean,
Same. Man, nuclear's where it's at.
it's just that's not a conversation you really have. But like if you could power the grid that way, then there really isn't any downside. But right now, like I think in our area, we're still. It's hydroelectric, so like TVA and dams, and then where I'm from, part of Southwest Virginia, it's coal-powered, coal-fired power plants. So, and those are not any better for the environment than burning gasoline, really.
Yeah, I think it is another unintended consequence here is going to be, like again, if and or when the EVs kind of start to take over, gas companies are not going to take that line down,
We'll just
It's going to be, it's going to be, there's going to be a struggle for sure. Because also, I think the more people that are driving EVs, gas prices are probably going to go up because, the people that still can't afford to buy EVs are going to be stuck driving these gas cars. So there'll still be cars that need gas.
You're going to pull into a gas station, and it's going to be like 2 of the pumps removed and replaced with superchargers, and the other 2 are still going to be normal pumps.
Yeah, and it's going to be like $15 a gallon because there's less people driving gas cars, and, gas companies are still going to want their money.
Typically less demand means, price falls. Like during the pandemic.
Yeah,
you guys remember
gas
how
was super cheap.
Because no one was driving?
Yeah.
But if it falls to a certain point where it's nosediving, then it's the other way. It's scarcity and rarity is going to make it go as far as need. It's like if you need to go to the store and buy like bicycle paint or something. Which ask me how I know. It's like who the heck has bicycle paint anymore? You go and it's like, well, there's only one can and it's $25. Why is it $24? Because it's the only bicycle paint.
Yeah, because no one else makes it or buys it.
Yeah.
Because who the needs bicycle paint?
I did. I needed it recently, and not for a bicycle, but
Then why did you need bicycle paint?
for a guitar.
Why not buy guitar paint?
Because nitrocellulose paint is hard to find too, and you have to order it. And I was like, I can find bicycle paint, but I was wrong. I was wrong. About
Interesting.
that.
Did you go to like a bike shop?
No, I went to like the store. Like
Why don't you check
Walmart.
out? There's like a bunch of bike shops around
I
here.
doubt they. I mean, that's logical thinking. I appreciate it. I appreciate that after the fact. Where were you months ago? But yeah, no. Walmart was where I went because they've got everything, right? Not true.
They got some things.
But either way, it's. I don't think it's going to save. No one's going to be saving any money. It's just like with streaming. Like, well, we're going to save money by having a few different apps we pay for, and it's like, no, I spend more money than I
that's
ever
the
did.
thing. You initially when these technologies first come out, you save money, but then once kind of the capitalist machine catches
the market
up,
share is saturated, then
Yeah.
what are you going to do now?
everything just normalizes.
We're just in an endless cycle of like things get a little better, then they just go back to how crappy they were, and then it just all happens again when a new thing starts.
Innovation, market share, decline.
Yeah.
Rinse, repeat.
All right.
We still have one more story.
Yeah. So. All right. So. Finally, let's talk about YouTube and their war on ad blockers.
Yeah.
No, I know. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
You have some feelings.
I have feelings about YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. I hate a lot of ads. I've used an ad blocker for a long time, which Michael has graciously pointed out to me multiple times that I'm a terrible person because of it.
I have never said that. Okay.
Let me finish. Because I'm not supporting the creators that I spend so much time watching because they are not getting any ad revenue because I'm not watching ads on their channel. Which, I agree. Sometimes I do feel bad about it. But also, like, I know Google's got enough money. YouTube's got enough money. They're fine. I think they should pay their people better. The people that keep their whole service alive. But, you know.
But, I mean, this is... YouTube only really makes money off of advertising. And also, you know, they don't... Creators are not employed by YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
Like, they are not employees of YouTube. They are not required to make minimum wage. They don't receive health care. You know, they are paid, you know, basically in proportion to the ad money that they bring in.
Yeah, correct. But I also know that, you know, a lot of there's all these big creators who get a lot of their income. I know it doesn't come from YouTube. I get that. But a lot of these creators have all these other services where they primarily get their money, whether it's through like channel memberships
direct
or
sponsorships,
Patreons, that kind of thing.
All right, before we get any further than this, we should preface this whole conversation with saying that YouTube is trying to... The whole reason we're talking about this is YouTube is trying to crack down on ad blockers.
Yes.
We never really said that in this. We haven't gotten to that part of it yet, which is important. That's the main reason we're talking about it, is that they're trying to basically block ad blockers. They're saying it.
Yeah.
More and more people are getting a pop-up saying that if you're using an ad blocker, you have to turn off the ad blocker to watch YouTube.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Go on.
I don't.
Talking about YouTubers getting most of their revenue from external, non-YouTube related payment vectors.
Yeah, so, you know, YouTube's they become very crackdowny, Cracky Downy Jr.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Wow. You stole my thunder.
Yeah, sorry, dog. You want to take it? I'll cut that out and let you have it.
No, that's fine.
And it's just, I don't know, it's annoying.
What is the revenue split for ad revenue? Does anybody know? Do we know? Because, I mean, none of our videos are really monetized, are they? No. So, yeah, creators get paid, but there is a revenue split. Obviously, YouTube shows ads to keep the service running. Have you guys noticed, like, the tying into the cracking down of the ad blockers, like the frequency and the length of the ads has increased, like if you're watching the app? Like, it's unwatchable almost.
Well, it's insane, because, like, you know, I've watched YouTube for a long time, but, like, now if I watch, like, a 10-minute video, there's like four ads. Yeah.
Every 2 minutes and 50 seconds
and
there's an ad.
It's just kind of insane.
And some of them are unskippable, and there's 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, there's, like, almost always 2. And I hate... No, there's nothing I hate more than when you get 2 ads and the first one's skippable, but you kind of zone out because there's an ad.
You miss it.
And you miss the skip, and then the next one's like 30 seconds, but it's unskippable.
Yep.
I hate that. My gosh.
My problem with the way that they're doing the ads currently is, like you said, there's a 10-minute video, I'm watching it. I don't know a whole lot about YouTube as far as the creator side, but I want
to butt in real quick because I found this out. Long-form traditional YouTube videos, it's a 55-45 creator YouTube split.
For long form.
Yeah, so shorts are reversed. They're a 45-55 split, which I don't know, almost 50-50.
Seems fine.
So, you know.
Seems fair.
But, sorry, you were saying.
Oh, as far as the creator side, I don't know if you get to choose where ad breaks are going to be in your video. Like if you can determine for a 10-minute video, does the creator get to choose, I'm going to put 4 ads in this, or is that a YouTube?
That is the thing. I think for the most part, especially larger creators kind of get the ability to decide where ads go in their videos.
Because it seems to me the videos that I like to watch, that like you said are 10 minutes long, there's no rhyme or reason to why the ads are there, and it will like... Maybe after a sentence is ended, an ad will pop up. It will break up an entire flow of something that I'm watching.
Yeah.
Right. But like
that's annoying.
That kind of thing is kind of the creator's fault, because they have some leeway in how many ad breaks and where they go in their videos. Because I've watched, and I should preface my part in this conversation is that I have paid for YouTube Premium for a long time, like back when it was called YouTube Red before they changed that for obvious reasons. But like I watched several YouTube videos where it's kind of awkward where they'll say, and now I'm gonna pause for an ad and be right back, and there's not an ad because I don't see ads. So like you can tell that creators do have the ability to decide where ads go, to a point how many ads go in their videos.
Here's the thing for me. I'm fine with ads. I don't like them. No one likes them. I'm fine with them, though. But like Tyler said, the frequency has just gotten completely out of hand. And So I've just had to disable my ad blocker within the past couple weeks because YouTube's been cracking down on it. It gives you a pop-up and it's like you've got 3 more videos and we'll disable the video player. So that's fine. But all of my ads since then have been like 1 or 2 products, but mostly ads for YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me because I don't want to give YouTube my money.
But of course they're going to be advertising for YouTube.
Well, yeah, because they know that people are seeing ads now.
Right. But I mean, it is like I can't help but find the controversy, and we've talked about this. I can't help but find it a little bit odd because it's the kind of thing that's not a controversy when you look at like Hulu or Netflix or things like that where, they have ads. Well, I mean, Netflix hasn't had an ad-supported tier for very long, but like Hulu has basically always had an ad-supported tier as like its primary tier, and people don't really complain about that all that much.
Well, the difference is, though, that like Hulu and Netflix, they have a budget. They have the shows and the content are created with a budget. They're larger budget productions. YouTube, for the most part, not every YouTube video is equal, but like your random average YouTube video, probably the budget is, the camera equipment and then the time and energy spent and maybe Adobe Premiere. Like those are the things that go into it. So I'm not saying you can't get quality content on YouTube. I'm saying it's a different platform and it's different. But like if you look at television, I have no problem watching television, and the content is created with the ads in mind. And there's maybe a 3.5 minute. I'm cool watching 3.5 minutes of ads, but with YouTube I would rather do it front load the ads. I'm not watching it during the video.
If YouTube gives me that option, I will stop complaining.
Me too.
Just let me watch them all before, because I hate the interruption of my video when it's like a video that's one cohesive unit of content.
Yes.
And it's just chopped up haphazardly.
Well, yeah, but like, it's the kind of thing where YouTube implemented those mid-rolls as a way of supporting creators and giving them the ability to put more ads in their longer videos. And the creators chose to say that they were going to put those ads to get the extra revenue.
Well, I know.
So this is not... I'm just saying you can be upset about them, but that's kind of the creators doing that and not YouTube in this case.
Yes, but I just want to point out that if the whole purpose of the YouTubers being cool with this is more revenue for them, if I watch all these ads at the beginning, they're still going to get the same revenue. And I'm probably going to pay more attention to them than if they're in the middle of the video because I'm just pissed off at that point.
I've literally exited videos before.
Same.
When I've gotten an ad, like, f*** it.
Like, if it's a video that I'm not that interested in, but I'm
Seriously.
just curious enough to click on it, if there's, like, an ad at a point, I'm just like, yeah, I don't care that much anymore. I'm over it.
I don't. I've done this.
I'm just, I'm not in charge at YouTube, and maybe there's a reason for that.
I'm firmly millennial, though. Like, I'm as... Are you guys millennials, technically?
Nope, we're...
So I'm like...
Supposedly, they're supposed to be introducing a... whoever they are.
You're coming out with a new generation.
A new generation between millennials and Gen Z, which is like the people who are about our age, born like late 90s, early 2000s, got all their college messed up by COVID, and like that whole generation. Because we don't really fall into Gen Z, but we don't really fall into millennials.
Yeah.
I think they're going to call them zillennials or something stupid because, they can't come up with anything cool.
I don't know. Generations are arbitrary things anyway. But I don't know. For me, I have been kind of happy just paying like the $6 a month for YouTube Premium for as long as I've been doing it.
You sure? Are you grandfathered in or something?
I was about to say, there's no way
it's $15 now.
Well, I might be.
Maybe that's why you're happy, because you don't actually know how much it is.
The thing is, I would be happy paying $6.
It might be. Even if it is $15, I think I am grandfathered in at like a $10 thing or something like that. Regardless, I'm fine with it because I watch a ridiculous amount of YouTube. It is my primary source of video entertainment.
How much do you actually think YouTube Premium is, without looking at your phone?
Oh, well, I don't know.
I think it's $14.99. Is it not that?
$18.99.
No way.
$18.99.
Not doing it.
I'm just saying.
I might be paying.
I'm not paying that much
like more.
I mean, that's
more than
ridiculous.
Netflix, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Netflix has gone up quite a bit. It's probably not, but still, considering these are videos that people upload to.
Well, like I said, they're varying degrees of quality.
Yeah.
It's not like. So if it was $18.99, which I know you get the music part of that too, right?
I pay less than that for Disney Plus.
You get Google or was it YouTube Music or whatever? Is that included in that bundle or no?
Yeah.
So I mean, at least you're getting some. But like, if the $18.99, and I know there were some YouTube Red shows back in the day, but I'd never heard of anyone really talking about them, like that they were worth your $18.99. But like for the most part, I'm watching a video of someone's webcam talking to me about like why Star Wars is bad now.
Yeah. I pay $10.98.
See, that'd be more reasonable. I'd be kind of okay with that.
Yeah, I would consider it. I'm not doing like
$19
because I thought it was $15. I'm not doing $15.
That's ridiculous.
Well, this sounds like a you problem.
I'm gonna go cancel your YouTube Premium.
So you gotta
that you gotta re-up it and you gotta pay the full price like the rest of us.
But I mean, I don't know. That's very expensive. I don't know.
They keep
now I'm
raising
coming back
it.
around
Because the last time I had looked into it, which wasn't because I used to have there was a friend that added me to their family plan because they just had an extra one, so I had premium for like 2 years.
Well, see, that's the thing. You can get a family plan for $30, which includes 5 accesses.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Sounds like you just really need to just find a family. You know?
Yeah.
I've always wondered, how do you handle that though? Someone pays it, and then how do you make sure you get paid?
You probably just don't.
That's the thing. Like, I'm never going to do this. I don't trust people.
I don't trust 5 people enough to split this money every month.
But when this guy realized that Sunday Ticket was on NFL and his YouTube TV account was the same, and the 5 that you choose for premium are the same 5 you can choose for, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
He kicked me off because I guess he had people that needed the Sunday tickets. Fine, no big deal, John, if you're listening. Not a problem at all. I looked into the price after, and I was like, 15? Like, I'm not doing this. So now it's gone up even. This was before football season.
Yeah.
So they've increased the price, and they've increased the frequency of the ads. It's obviously, we know why, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Does that change your opinion at all, Michael?
It does change my opinion a bit. That seems a bit much. I'm still of the mind that there's a lot of really worthy creators out there that spend a lot of time making really high quality stuff that they put out for free on YouTube.
You're correct, and I have a Patreon, and I have subscribed to certain people for the length of time that I watch their content. I've done that before, and I will do that.
There are a good chunk of YouTubers that I like, the ones that I regularly watch over and over again. I'll subscribe to join like their club or whatever on YouTube. There's like 2 or 3 that I do that for right now.
So I mean, like, I believe in supporting creators.
Same.
And but I also I agree that that's too much money for YouTube Premium.
It is, yeah.
I think I'm paying a reasonable amount for YouTube Premium. I didn't realize that it had gotten that
it's out of hand,
expensive to get in, I guess.
Like, if you could just choose, because, again, if you have Spotify or whatever, or another service, I don't care about the music side of that, and I don't care about the premium, like, specific exclusive shows. If there was a tier that just got rid of ads that was like $5, I would be all for it, and I would have that tier.
Yeah,
but I think
I would.
At this point, they don't really have, like, exclusive YouTube shows anymore. I think
so that's even worse. Like, the only thing you really add value you're getting access to YouTube Music, which if you already have another service, like if I had Spotify, which I do, I don't care for that. I'm not going to use it anyway.
But I mean, there are like some other like quality of life features that are gated behind YouTube Premium. Like, I can use the like mini player for YouTube videos, and I can listen to YouTube videos with my phone locked, which is kind of part of the YouTube music thing.
I can also use the mini player without YouTube Premium.
The mini player might have just been like an early access thing for Premium.
Yeah, the offline videos was cool. I enjoyed that when I was going somewhere. Like, we went on our cruise, I downloaded a bunch of videos.
That's really handy. So yeah, if YouTube Premium ever comes back down to $11 a month, I highly recommend it.
If not, don't waste your cash.
Well, I mean, in all seriousness, for those who enjoy a specific sect of YouTube, which not everyone does, but like a lot of education-based YouTubers, they've started their kind of own streaming service called Nebula, where, again, price might have gone up since I subscribed to it, but it's like $8 a month, and you get all their videos early and without ads. And you can download the videos there. You can, it's basically YouTube but run by creators. It's not obviously not all the creators, but like
all the creators.
But if you're into like some education-based content on YouTube, I think that's a good place to go. But otherwise, I do I've come back around knowing how expensive YouTube Premium is. I mean, that's
if you only could experience the the frequency and the most annoying part of these ads, like, it's just every 2 minutes. So you really can't even get into a groove watching a video. And I don't care about the product once it appears. I actually actively am like, I will never buying Honey Nut Cheerios ever again.
It's just
it makes me. It's doing the opposite than what it needs to do.
I don't know. I feel like, you and me, Michael, we do a lot of advertising. We try to make our ads fun and enjoyable, but like, I don't even want to push our crap on people that much. Like, I know we do some ads on YouTube, but like, and we can't necessarily control how frequently they're shown. No. We can throw more money at it, but, you know, I don't know. I'm not a fan. But if you come across an ad from Burk IT that has me or Michael in it, you should probably watch it because it's probably funny.
Hey, I mean, look, our last, the last long form ad we did, the poker one, it had like a 90% watch rate. Like 90% of the people watched
the whole thing.
Well, no, maybe like the people that viewed it watched like 90% of it.
Nice. Well, that's cool.
So, you know, that's
something.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but
Toot.
all right. So, down with the corporate overlords.
Just keep driving the car you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if this podcast stops appearing on YouTube, you know why. Thank you for listening to It's News to Me. If you enjoyed this content and would like to see or hear more like it, check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@BurkIT or go to our website at burkitc.com. Our theme music is Big City Lights by Up in the Air. Be sure to come back in 2 weeks to hear more from me, Noah, and Tyler. And in the meantime, keep your data secure and your mind sharp.
Okay, bye.
Leave that in. That sound of the trash.
That'll be the ending.
We gotta go back to the hypothetical. We always do that.
Yeah.
It's too late.
No, it's not
over.
too late. We're still here. It's still recording.
This is it. It's over. Go home.
Why are you still here? What is the...
No,
That's
Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Is that what he says?
Something like
Verbatim?
that. I don't know. I'm not him.
He's like, I think he comes out, he's like, you're still here?
He's like in his bathroom.
Movie's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Reynolds does that at the end of Deadpool.
Yeah.
And
First
everyone was
time.
like, oh man, that's really funny. And then people didn't know what it was from.
Man, uncultured swine.
Yeah.
He says it's over, go home. Hey, look, it's one of those awesome ads.
Oh, yeah.
You're still here?
We were both right.
It's over. Go home.